Forum.com and BMRodds.com. What is going on, boys? What is going on? Welcome back to episode number 78 of The Lobby. These episodes and this year, Sammy, are just flying by. I can't believe it's already the 1st of October.
Yeah, looking at it, first off, I'm already in flannel. The weather's going down to the 60s,
Yeah.
which is nice. The leaves are
Yeah.
changing in upstate. And, I was looking at the spreads today and I said, week 4? Are you kidding me? How are we already on week 4? I think the problem with NFL is that they named their weeks of the season, so it makes you think more in depth about it. When you look at MLB, NHL, and NBA,
Yeah.
they don't name their weeks. It's just the games that are happening. But,
Right.
it's almost like a countdown for NFL. It just works its way up, and it just makes you think every week how close you're getting to the end. But week 4, here we go. The Cowboys are looking horrible. Hopefully get a bounce-back win on Thursday Night Football tomorrow. But they got to learn how to stop the run. It's been pretty bad.
Before the show got started, did you stick your hand in the light socket by chance?
No, I think
Ready.
I think you're just jealous of the fact that I can put my hand through my hair just like that. And Bobby, I saw you before the show. You just did boop, and you're ready to go. So the luscious hair, the ladies like to put the hands through the hair.
I did just get a haircut, as you gentlemen might have noticed.
Which one got cut? The front one or the back one?
But moving on, Mr. Donnie Rightside. What's up, Donnie?
Yeah, feeling good. And Sammy's right about that. And I always say the same thing. Like before week 1 of the NFL starts, I'm like, remember this day because it is going to go by so fast. And here we are already talking about week 4. And then at the end of football season, we're crying because we don't have week 1 back in our lives again. So enjoy it while it's here. But for sooner or later, Sammy's going to be like, okay, it's week 8. It's week 12. It's week 16. The playoffs are here. It's just what happens. Why? Because football's so much fun. It goes so fast.
It does. It's like Sammy. It's so much fun. It goes really quick. But
got to get to the end zone, baby.
Let's jump into it, Sammy. What do you got on the diamond this week? Or today, rather?
Yeah, so looking at baseball coming down to the last week, I did lose in the semifinals of my fantasy baseball league. So I'm battling for third, fourth, but my dad's in the finals. So at least one of us got to the championship. But for baseball, it's coming to that time where you can only bet the games that necessarily matter to the wild card or to the playoffs. Shout out to the Padres yesterday. What a way to win it in a triple play.
Yeah.
That was pretty exciting, waking up to that highlight. But looking at baseball today, I like the Tigers and the Royals, who are both in that AL wildcard battle, just fighting for position. So I'm going to take them both, Tigers over Tampa Bay and Kansas City over Washington. In reference to the JDS MLB contest, again, down to the last couple plays. Sunshine pretty much has it locked down. You can't officially declare him winner yet or her winner yet in case someone hits the White Sox, 5 straight days at plus 250. But Sunshine's got an 8-unit lead over WW Ermeyer, Whitefield Ivy,
Hard to screw up that with an 8
Empire
unit.
Maker. They're all within 1.5 units. So 2 through 5 is really where the competition lies. Martin Hopp is looking to get a win right now on the under, and he could go right up to third place, which will force Whitefield Ivy to make a play, which could force number 2 to make a play. So Sunshine can sit pretty. Everyone else battling.
Yep. What do you got on the diamond as far as wagers there, Sam?
I don't have any futures, but again, I like the Tigers and I like Kansas City tonight.
All righty. Best of luck with those. Donnie, what do you got on the diamond?
Yeah, it's a good time for baseball because the crazy part is we forget so much about baseball in the month of September and really get going back in October when the playoffs begin. But there are some massive must-win games. Like Sammy's pointing out the Detroit Tigers. I mean, who would have thought they would be even in the playoff race, let alone looks like they're about to close down a wild card spot. 2-0 yesterday on my BMR videos. Looking to go 2-0 once again tonight. If we take a couple unders here, take a look at some sides. Chris Sale, I do believe, once again, like I had last night, that the Braves would win. Had a money line about a minus 130 price. Schwellenbach was great yesterday. Today, Sale's on the mound. I think he beats Peterson, but I'm more likely to bet the under in this game, which I did at 7.5, which means I don't think they can get 8 runs. This game for me, 3-1, 3-2, 4-2, 4-3, in that range ends up. Also, San Diego and Los Angeles, which Sammy brought up also. The Padres, a triple play to end the baseball game to clinch a playoff spot. Doesn't get any better than that. And then you realize The Padres are only 2 games back of the Los Angeles Dodgers with another game tonight. And Dylan Cease has been really good for them this year. But also, instead of betting aside like a plus 120 price on San Diego, I'm going to go under 7.5 in this as well. I don't think we get to 8 runs in this game either. But if you're looking for a long shot tonight to take with a dead baseball team, it just might be the Miami Marlins, who won yesterday against the Twins. Simeon Woods Richardson, not a great pitcher on the mound. He's minus 196 today, which means you're going to get about a plus 165 price back. If you're looking for a dog, I might be looking at the Miami Marlins tonight on that end of it.
All right, Donnie, good luck with those. And a shout out, Donnie, to your Philadelphia Phillies clinching the NL East. Congratulations. What is your take on them moving forward in the playoffs?
And again, there's no bias behind it here. Like, I think the Phillies are a really good team, but if you are looking at playoff baseball as the best well-rounded team out there, I think it's the Philadelphia Phillies, because as you know, it's built on your 1-2 punch in that lineup, which probably is going to be Aaron Nola and also Zach Wheeler, as good as it gets. The 1 through 9 there has a lot of boppers in that lineup, a lot of players that can go yard and also have some speed. And number 3, I think the bullpen is very good. I got to tell you, in the National League, it's actually not the Dodgers I'm worried about. It could be the Padres I'm worried about out there. Strong pitching staff, good 1 through 9, and maybe the best bullpen in baseball heading into the playoffs. So high on the Phillies, think they do well, but watch out for those Pods.
Hey, Bobby, let's also shout out to the New York Yankees that are going to be winning
Nice.
the AL East as well.
Tonight?
And what are their expectations for the playoffs? Well, it's just like the Cowboys.
Please, Sammy.
It's Super Bowl or bust. They keep getting to the championship game and then they lose to Houston or something like that. They haven't been to a World Series in like 15 years. You want to know why? Because they're built for home runs. So as soon as they learn in the playoffs to get singles and doubles and get runs batted in that aren't home runs or bust, then maybe they can get farther and get to the World Series. But man, the Yankees have been a tease. Seriously, for the last 15 years, they haven't made it to the World Series. So it's about time. They got to advance. They got to judge when is he going to do it. He's MVP for the last few regular seasons, but when is he going to perform and shine in the playoffs? Let's make it happen.
Now, speaking real quick of the Phillies and Philadelphia, Donnie, I'm sure you caught this. The Savannah Bananas sold out Citizens Bank Park with a wonderful performance. A lot of great throwbacks to the Phillies days of old. Jamie Moyer, Shane Victorino, Ryan Howard. It was wonderful. You look at the highlights and seeing those guys from years ago.
I'm telling you, what the crazy part about it is Philadelphia is a baseball hotbed, but you would figure like everybody would be focused on the Phillies. And the crazy part about it is you would figure like they will go to, play a smaller venue because we have a couple minor league teams within like a 40 or 50 mile radius of Philadelphia. Like, no, they went to Citizens Bank Park and sold it out in the month of September. It wasn't even a summer night where it's like, okay, middle of summer, all the kids are out of school. We'll go check this out. They are a phenomenon. It's not my cup of tea, but boy, oh boy, they got a following, which is pretty incredible.
We do have a tremendous following. I mean, their backstory is just incredible. I think they were pretty much getting ready to close up shop with the team. And, they just became an overnight social media phenomenon. And now they're, selling out stadiums left and right. I wanted to get tickets when they came out here to Vegas. I had to go on a wait list. I never got them, unfortunately. But, they sold out the minor league ballpark here.
Yep.
So
my brother went to a game.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he enjoyed it out in Virginia.
Okay. Very nice. But a quick shout out, guys. Our top 5 in poker this week. Big shout out. Congratulations. I'm glad he finally got in and showed off his poker skills. Here on the farm, Mr. JDS with the first place win, 100 Boulder coins and a ticket to our Tournament of Champions. RR Silver at number 2, always consistent guy with the poker here on the farm. Eddie Cash, number 3, another guy. He's in and out of these tournaments consistently. White Phil Ivy at number 4. I think the guy has his hand in a bunch of different tournaments, a bunch of different contests as well here at BMR. Big shout out to him. And then number 5, Lee Kid Cincinnati. So those top 5, the top 2 got some Boulder coins. Top 5 got an entry into our big Tournament of Champion event coming up here at the end of the year. So big shout out to those guys. And still plenty of time, guys, to get your hands on some Boulder coins, to get your hands on a Tournament of Champions entry ticket. Event number 3 will be coming up this Sunday. So feel free and click on my link, which I'll be posting here shortly. Register for the tournament, get your hands on some Boulder coins. Why not? It's a free shot at some coins. No reason really not to continue with that. But moving on, Sammy, how was your week number 3 in the NFL?
From a contest standpoint, pretty bad. I was 3-4. From a betting standpoint, it kind of went that way as well. Pretty marginal. I did hit both Monday night plays and I hit the Thursday night play, but on Sunday it was kind of everywhere in the middle, which is kind of what that Sunday was. It was action packed. The Cowboys got beat up and then they came back a little bit to give you some false hope. The Sunday night game was pretty exciting. And then, of course, the missed pass interference call, the controversial pay. Kansas City's 3-0. You could easily argue they could be 0-3. The toe on the line, 2 potential pass interference calls. And now this week, they're a big favorite because one of the defensemen is suspended for some questionable hits throughout the season. Everyone loves to hate against Kansas City. But again, Cowboys pick or kick off Thursday night. Tomorrow night, I got a lot of the guys coming over from work, a couple Giants fans, a couple Cowboy fans. We're going to get a good menu going. So at least we'll start off Thursday night, hopefully with a win and a good meal, and then on to the Big 7, which we'll talk about in a little bit.
What's on the spread for the meal, Sam?
Yeah, so one of the guys is slow cooking. He's going to make some pulled pork. So we're going to make some pulled pork sandwiches, get some coleslaw, and then another guy's going to make some homemade mac and cheese and some baked beans. I'm basically
nice.
Normally I cook when I host, but then tomorrow I'm just hosting. I don't have to really. I'm just providing the little things like the plates, the silverware, the drinks and stuff.
Very nice.
Everyone else is cooking, so there'll be like 8 of us over tomorrow.
Sweet. All right. Sounds like a good time, Sammy. Quick rundown of our top 5 in BMR's Pick the Dog contest, guys. In at number 1, Sleepy Mario, 4-3, but 37 remaining picks for him. Number 2, Costa Molina at 6-5. Diggity. In at number 3, also 6-5. Big Shooter at 4, 6-3, and then Dave 7166 at Dave 7166 at 6-6, rounding up 5th place. But Donnie, let's jump over to you for the week 3 recap. How was it for you?
Wasn't bad contest-wise, 4-3, but I did hit my number 7. Last week I came in, I think, 13th, and now I'm back into the top 10. So just trying to hang around so I can get on a hot run here. Hopefully it happens in week number 4. Good week from a prop perspective, but cooled off a little bit on Sunday night. Lost a little bit money back. This weekend started decent, so hopefully it goes into this week and you can have a big one. But contest-wise, I'm ready. Look, get in the top 10, hang around, see what you can do, make a surge a little bit later in the season, and that's all I can ask for. So I'm happy where I sit in the pool. I think I'm 12-9 against the spread overall, and the points it looks like right here 52. So I'm 13 points back of first place. Very doable as long as you can hang around and continue to put winning weeks together to see what I can do and get back into that top 5.
Righty, awesome, Donnie. Thank you. And Sammy, let's talk a little bit about this NIL drama out here in Vegas. Who do you think's at fault here?
Yeah, in reference to that, I think you're seeing real time that the business aspect and a player actually, trying to cash in on the contract aspect of his deal. These players are moving every year. These players are signing contracts, and these players are signing endorsement deals. So they're holding up their end of the deal. And on the other end, they're supposed to get paid. Well, it seems like UNLV is not paying and he's now holding out. So it's interesting to see if that'll be a trickle effect on what's going down. But there is a business aspect that they're now introducing into college football. And now the players are, or at least in this aspect, one player is now fighting back, and we'll see what the repercussion is of it.
Donnie, what's your take on it?
It's just a mess, and it's the NCAA's fault. It's college football's fault. It's the players' fault. It's the coach's fault. We just went too far down the rabbit hole. But also, if you are a kid and it's an NIL deal and you have an agency that represents you, how does this happen? Because if you go to said school, there should be a contract written up that says, I was supposed to get $100,000 delivered on this day. It wasn't delivered. So you should be able to go to court and say, here's my contract. They didn't pay me. And the court will say, absolutely, you should get paid. There's a judgment against that company. They we'll pay you $100,000. But apparently it was a handshake deal. Assistant coach told me this, that. Now we're 3-0. We're ranked in the top 25. I'm taking my services elsewhere so I can actually get paid. So the kid will probably go to another school. They'll tell him $200,000, and then they'll probably try to pay him $100,000, and he'll just quit football for good. College football was never meant to be this. Get your education. If you're good enough to go pro, you'll be a millionaire. If not, you got your education fully paid for, no student loans, and you move on with your life. We're slowly turning into professional football in the college ranks, but the difference between professional football is you have a contract that either you can hold out, you know exactly what you're getting paid, you can get a new contract, you can get cut, everything is in writing. NIL, it's the Wild West here, and we're going to see more of this happening over the next maybe couple weeks and years.
Speaking of college football, Sammy, let's jump into it. How was your week 4, and what do you got for week 5?
Yeah, college football, I think I went 1-2. Again, from a volume standpoint, I pretty much am only betting the big games, the TV games, the national games, and I don't like to bet the big spreads either. So again, looking at that, I got to keep the rivalry going with the Duke Carolina. I see Duke's at home as a field goal favorite, so I'm going to take Duke over Carolina. Then for the big game, Alabama's an underdog for the first time in about 20 years against Georgia, so that's going to be a dogfight. So I gotta take Alabama at +2.5 and see what type of game happens there. I love that it's the 7:30 game. A lot of times the big SEC games used to be 3:30 on a Saturday, which for me, I work. So I like the primetime 7 o'clock games on ESPN. I think CBS losing the SEC rights, they really fucked them TV-wise. But for me, I like it a lot better. And then I'm also going to take UCF -14 over Colorado. Colorado, another 3-0 team that could be 0-3. What a Hail Mary. What a finish. What TV last week watching that game. But in reference to should they have won that game, no way. And I think UCF is going to smoke them this week, finally, break them down. Kind of like what happened last year when Colorado started off hot and then sucked the end of the year. I think you're about to see some of the L's start to pile up for them.
Righty, thank you, Sammy. Donnie, over to you for college football. How was your last weekend? What do you got this coming week?
Wasn't bad last week. One of my favorite videos that I put out was the over in the Michigan USC game, which was 44, which did have a slow start to the game, but they ended up going over that total. So that pleased me very much. I really enjoy now watching my Miami Hurricanes absolutely pasted South Florida. They have a standalone Friday night football game tonight, or this week, I should say, at Hard Rock Stadium versus Virginia Tech. They're favored by close to 3 touchdowns, 19.5 points. I like the over in that Friday night game at 55.5. Nobody's been able to stop Cam Ward in that Miami offense, and I do think that defense is a little bit vulnerable for the Hurricanes. They should be able to give up some points in that game getting over the total. But I agree with Sammy. 7:30. I mean, the SEC continues to provide us with a lot of fun. Now, also, the loser of this game is not banished to miss the college football playoff since we have a 12-team playoff now. So if you lose this game, you can still pick up the rest of your season and make the college football playoff. But I'm with him. 4.5 is that opening number. It dropped to 2.5. I think Bama can take this game outright, and I'm excited to watch it play out.
Awesome. Thank you, Donnie, and best of luck with that. Sammy, before we jump into NFL, I want to jump into this real quick. Monday night, you got 2 games. You got one starting 7:30, the other starting 8:15. Do you have a split screen going? Are you focusing more on one than the other? What's your plan? And I hate it. I loved back in the day, the Sunday night, the Monday night doubleheader. You get the early game and then you get the late West Coast game. It was a lot of fun. Now you got to juggle between both of them. I personally don't like it.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you in the sense of it did appeal to the West Coast over the East Coast in reference to the time that it started. This week or last week, Buffalo was up 35-3 at half. So that one was an easy one to turn off unless you were betting the over-under or maybe a player prop, but that game was over at half. This week, the first game is what, Tennessee versus Miami, and you have 2 of the worst quarterbacks. You have a second string in Miami or a third string versus Will Levis, who's been horrible for Tennessee. So that game is definitely going to be the starter. And then after the first quarter, you're going to start with that second game, which is Detroit and Seattle, which is going to be an awesome game, a potential playoff game. So definitely that. But I think overall, as a fan, you want one game. That's what Monday night is advertised. Sunday is advertised as the action-packed. You're off of work for the most part. So that's where I want my 12 games. I want 7 in the afternoon. I want 5 in there 4. And then I want my Sunday night, my Monday night. For volume, Monday night, I want to go to bed because I got to work on Tuesday. So I'm not a huge fan of the 2. If it's going to do it, let's do it week 1. Once the bye week start, I don't want 2 games or anything. Maybe the England game and the London game starting next week. But overall, 1 game is good.
What do you think? as far as the Monday nights?
I love the doubleheader, to be honest, because number one, doing content, having two games as a pair to one, it's fantastic. But also, Sammy's right on this one point, though. If you have the doubleheader, one's a blowout, one's close. At least you have the one close game. Can you imagine if we just had single games and back-to-back weeks were blowouts? It would be incredibly boring, where you're just waiting for the fourth quarter to run out and a running clock. But also, look, you're looking at a Miami-Tennessee game. There's no juice in that one. Tennessee stinks because Will Levis stinks. Miami can't even get first downs right now without Tua Tagovailoa, but there is some interest in that second game. Seattle's 3-0. Detroit's supposed to be one of those teams that's going to battle for the NFC. So I don't mind it. Looks like the JV game is going to be played before, and then the varsity comes a little bit later. I love the doubleheader. We got 4 of them on the card this year. This is just week number 2. They're going to do it. I don't mind the doubleheader because you have a full slate. Nobody's on a bye. You can afford to throw an extra game on Monday night. I'm not mad at it. I'm not. I kind of like it.
Awesome. Thank you, Donnie. Sammy, let's jump over to you for week number 4. What do you got in your 7, and what are you betting personally?
Yeah, so in reference to the 7, first is I'm going to take the 2 teams that stunk on Monday Night Football and then just take them again against them on Sunday. So I'm going to take Houston -5.5 at home over Jacksonville. I said it last month at the beginning of the season that Jacksonville's time to shine was the last 3 to 5 years. They failed to do it. Houston, Indianapolis have taken over. Indianapolis maybe still a little bit behind, but Houston definitely. And it should be a bounce back week for Houston at home. Take them by a touchdown over Jacksonville. And the Bengals, why are they a favorite over Carolina? In Carolina, the Bengals are 0-3. I know their expectations should be better, but they're an 0-3 team. And Carolina, with Andy Dalton, who's slinging touchdowns, for Carolina, should be the worst team in the league. Now Andy Dalton at center, and all of a sudden he's leading that offense, and they scored some points. So now they're at home against the Bengals 0-3. I'm going to take that +4.5. I like Denver +7.5 against the Jets. I think that's too many points for the Jets, and plus Denver had their best week last week as well. So why stop them now at over a touchdown? That hook number, that was the Washington line this week, and that was an easy line to take against the Bengals, and they won outright. I don't know if Denver's going to win outright, but I'll definitely take them +7.5, which then leads me to Washington again, getting a hook number +3.5 against Arizona. That Washington offense, was great. I think they're 2-1 now against Arizona. I think that +3.5, I'll take them. Sunday Night Football, I like Buffalo +2.5 against the Ravens. The Ravens ran a lot over a weak Dallas run offense. Buffalo, they're having fun. They're 3-0. So take them against a big rivalry game on Sunday night against the Ravens. I like Detroit on Monday night, 4.5 against Seattle in a potential playoff game and an NFC Championship caliber game. Seattle 3-0, Detroit 2-1. So I like Detroit. And then give me Philly -2.5 over Tampa Bay, who maybe was exposed last week in their loss. Off a bounce back win against Denver, So 2 weeks ago, Tampa Bay beats Detroit. Everyone is high on them. Last week, they're one of the big favorites. Then they get smoked at home. So maybe now they're frauds. And I think we'll see if Philly can take advantage of them this week.
Righty. Awesome. Thank you, Sammy. Donnie, what do you got week number 4?
Let's see what we got. I like what the Pittsburgh Steelers got going on. The one thing I do know is I'm getting some solid performances out of Justin Fields. You know what I'm not getting? Any solid performances out of Anthony Richardson, the quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts. I'll go on the road with the Steelers and lay the 1.5. Game number 2, home team. I'm going to take the Green Bay Packers with the expectation that Jordan Love is back this week. I know how good Minnesota is. One of the best teams in the NFL, but I look at this as the perfect slingshot to get back into this race for the Green Bay Packers. They'll be excited at Lambeau. They'll be full tilt interest in beating Minnesota, and I think they can trip up Minnesota at 3-0. I'll take Green Bay and I'll lay the 2.5 points. Houston Texans at home laying 5.5 to Jacksonville. There's nothing to like about that 0-3 team. They look terrible, and now we're starting to already question ourselves about Trevor Lawrence being a franchise quarterback, and should he be benched? He's been brutal through the first 3 weeks of this NFL season. There's a chance for them to get a life alert back this week. I don't think they get it. They moved to 0-4. I think Houston rolls after getting slapped last week 34-7 by those Minnesota Vikings. Also, I'm just not a believer in Atlanta. Atlanta's 1-2. If the Eagles had any pulse late in that Monday Night Football game and Saquon Barkley makes a catch, they're 0-3. We're not talking about Kirk Cousins. We're talking about when's Michael Penix going to be our starting quarterback. I'll take New Orleans on the road, and I'll take the 1.5 points. Chicago Bears. I'm going to take the Bears at home going up against the LA Rams. Yes, you understand the Rams won last week in comeback fashion against a banged-up 49ers team. I think Chicago at home will be able to win this game by a field goal or more. I'll take them, and I'll lay that 2.5 points. Also, Baltimore Ravens on Sunday Night Football. What a game with the Buffalo Bills. But again, Buffalo is riding high. They're a fantastic, fantastic football team. But I'm going to take those Baltimore Ravens with a season-saving win in Dallas. Moving home, they should take care of business against Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. And then Monday Night Football. Oh, take a deep breath. I'm going to take those Tennessee Titans, and I'll lay the half point basically in a pick'em going up against the Miami Dolphins. I've seen enough. If Skylar Thompson's not the quarterback and Snoop Minnis is out there, or Snoop Huntley, whoever, Snoop Doggy Dog, it doesn't matter at that point. I'll take Tennessee, and I know I'll probably regret it. It's okay.
All righty, Donnie, Sammy, thank you both for that. And guys, good luck this upcoming weekend on all the action all around the forum, and we will see you guys around.
Let's get some winners.
See ya.